Woon thanks Sungmin for the help, throwing a bag of orc ears to Brass, telling him to make sure they don't miss any. They start walking back to meet up with the others, and Brass thanks Sungmin. Sungmin's group catches up with the other group. They're like, "We finished everything already, no big deal." Do asks if they had any trouble, but Woon assures him that they handled it quickly thanks to Sungmin. But then, out of nowhere, Wang throws a dagger into Rainier's chest, and she dies. Woon moves to attack Do, but Sungmin stops him just in time. In a strange flashback, Sungmin remembers a past life where he was working for a group. They see a big crowd gathered around an execution. They check it out and realize it's a mercenary from the Murim being executed. This guy had gone on a mission, killed all his friends to keep all the money for himself, and got caught. Back to the present, Sungmin and Woon are in a serious fight. Sungmin finally figures out who Woon really is. He's the guy who got executed for killing his own allies in a past life. Woon might not be top-notch, but he's tough. However, Sungmin can still predict his moves. He nicks Woon's chest and Woon steps back, thinking he escaped a deadly blow, but then he starts coughing up blood. The spear was poisoned. Woon, feeling weak, decided to change how he was going about things. He didn't want to hurt Brass, but he had to make Sungmin stop. Sungmin had been a soldier for a long time, but the only reason he was helping Brass was that they were both pretty much the same, low-class folks. Brass didn't back down. He used his weight to slam Woon to the ground. Woon had no choice, he had to stab Brass to stop him, but Sungmin didn't hesitate to repay the favour, and Woon fell too. While all this was happening, Do managed to take down Wang. Woon and Wang had brought them all to the mercenary guild, and now Do and Sungmin had to split the 35 million ER reward and the loot they had gathered. Sungmin finally made it back to the inn, worn out from the day's fighting. He flopped onto his bed, wishing he had just a bit more energy. Hoyeon was there to greet him. He wanted to know if Sungmin had killed someone. Sungmin was surprised, asked him how he knew. Hoyeon said it was the smell of blood. He explained it was a second-rate fighter who had tried to take him out, so Sungmin had to do it instead. But Hoyeon sensed something more, something Sungmin was hiding, and he pressed him on it. Sungmin was puzzled. He asked Hoyeon why he was so curious about what he might be hiding. He questioned if it was unusual for someone like him, with no grand achievements, to beat a second-rate fighter. Hoyeon clarified that wasn't what he meant. He thought Sungmin was special. Hoyeon had been wandering this city, seeing how most people with no class lived wretched lives. But on the very first day Sungmin was summoned, he went straight into the forest and faced monsters. Sungmin wondered if that was really so strange, given that survival would be tough without it. Hoyeon explained that logically it made sense, but other folks from different classes weren't doing it because they didn't know better. He pointed out that despite being just 14, Sungmin had risked his life and taken another's. Sungmin shrugged it off, saying he adapted quickly. Hoyeon wasn't convinced and told Sungmin his second suspicion. He believed Sungmin had no talent because when he taught him a 10, Sungmin could only grasp about 3 or 4. Another strange thing that he points out is that Sungmin has only used a spear for less than 2 months, but his skills are already quite good. To learn martial arts this fast in just 2 months, it makes Hoyeon wonder who Sungmin really is. Sungmin gets up and tells him that he doesn't know what he's talking about, but Hoyeon fires back, saying he doesn't like people who lie to him. Sungmin argues that everyone has secrets they want to keep hidden, and the person trying to uncover them is the real bad guy. He asks Hoyeon if that's what a friend means to him. Hoyeon, not giving up, offers to share his secret in exchange for Sungmin's. Sungmin, initially refusing, eventually gives in, offering his secret along with a remarkable martial arts technique. Hoyeon, growing desperate, asks what Sungmin wants in return, but Sungmin remains steadfast. Then, Hoyeon makes another offer, proposing to give Sungmin 20% of his internal energy. Sungmin, shocked, asks why Hoyeon would make such an offer. Hoyeon replies that he's curious, and Sungmin is his one and only friend. That's why he wants to know everything about his friend, even the secrets, because that's what a friend means to him. Sungmin agrees, but he has one condition. Hoyeon must promise not to harm him if he reveals his secret. With the deal made, Hoyeon offers to share his secret first. He reveals that he's actually a girl. Sungmin is completely stunned by this revelation. Hoyeon explains that her father wanted her to follow the path of becoming the cult leader, but only men were allowed to do that. So, she had to live as a boy. Sungmin is still in disbelief about Hoyeon being a girl. After she shared her secret, she asks Sungmin for his. He asks for a moment to gather his thoughts and suggests they use different rooms from tomorrow onward. Then he finally tells her his secret. He's a regressor. But Hoyeon is too confused to understand what that means. After some much-needed explanation, Hoyeon finally grasps the fact that Sungmin died and somehow went back to the past. She then asks him why he thinks she would kill him after knowing this. He says that even though he looks 14, he feels like he's 27 inside. He asks her if she feels bad for him tricking her about his age, but she says it's okay. She tells him that she was the one who started this friendship, who wanted to teach him martial arts, and who wanted to be friends. So he didn't really trick her, he just went along with her wishes. She tells him they've been friends for 2 months, and that's what friends are to her. After hearing this, he thanks her, feeling a bit better. But then she says it's sad he's only reached this level with 2 lifetimes and decades of experience. That comment hurts him. Then she says she'll give him her internal energy, like energy in a martial artist's body. It's precious and takes a lifetime to build up. Hoyeon starts giving him some of her energy, and it hurts him. After it's done, she asks how he feels, looking tired. She leans on his shoulder. He managed to keep about half the energy she gave him. He asks if she's okay, and she says she's tired but fine. He wonders why she's doing all this for him. She says they're friends and she wants nothing in return. She did it for herself. She decides to teach him a spear technique, shocking him. It's the Supreme 9 Heavenly Spear, the same one used by the Spear King 100 years ago. She doesn't want him to die like he did in his past life. He thanks her but gets a light punch for bowing to her. That night they talk about many things, and a month passes. Before we continue, let's take a moment to shout out at Joyland David Rodriguez, 2734, who commented, "2-part please make the episode 4 hours," on our auto hunting video. Thanks for commenting. They're practicing martial arts and Hoyeon wants to see how much he's learned, but he can't shake the feeling that she might leave after their next sparring session. She tells him that she will give him a 20-move head start. In a flashback, Hoyeon tells Sungmin that the method to make the Supreme 9 Heavens Spear suitable for him is called the Supreme 9 Heavens Spear Sungmin style. He asks why she had to do that, and she says that she improved it for him, so it was only right that she put his name in it. In the technique that he used, it has been combined with the soul-chasing technique's moves. He attempts to use the soul-chasing killing strike first, but Hoyeon is easily able to deflect his attack. She dodges his next attack with ease. He had used 3 moves already. Compared to the days when Sungmin didn't know anything, his spear techniques contain more parry, hold and pierce moves now. Parry spins outward and bounces off the opponent's attack. Hold is to rotate inward and press down to block one's opponent's attack. Pierce means to stab one's opponent. These are the basics of spearmanship. After learning the basics and practicing for the past month, Sungmin's skills had greatly improved. Sungmin continues his efforts to land a clean attack on her, but she continues to be unfazed by his techniques. He had advanced to the second rate with the internal energy that he had received, but she is parrying it all with her right hand alone. Attack after attack, Hoyeon blocks and parries all of them with little effort needed, but with his last move, he is able to land a hit on Hoyeon and take her by surprise. But that was his 20th attack, so Hoyeon is going on the offensive. She appears behind him and attacks. He lost, but she compliments him, saying that he did well, but Sungmin says that what she is saying is nonsense since she blocked most of his attacks with just her right hand. But she reassures him that he has developed a good sense, and even says that he was born to do martial arts. She tells him that she will look forward to 10 years from now. She tells him that their sparring was too easy, but she is satisfied with his skills, and that he has displayed as much as she's taught him, so she tells him that they will meet again in 10 years. She then asks him if he has decided on a goal in life, but he says that he still doesn't know yet. Since that is the case, Hoyeon asks Sungmin to make her his goal. As she explains, she says that humans need to have goals, and if one doesn't have a goal, their life would be nothing short of just drifting around. She tells him to become strong enough to fight her 10 years from now. He tells her that there is no way that can be done because, to him, just because he will make her his goal, doesn't mean that he can become like her. He breaks down and lashes out, tears welling up in his eyes. He pleads with her not to say anything irresponsible, and insists that he can't make it because he lacks talent. He states that becoming as strong as she is feels like an impossible feat for him. She scolds him for his deep-seated sense of inferiority, expressing her frustration. She tells him that she despises this aspect of him, how his past insecurities hold him back. Sungmin becomes increasingly angry, continuing to vent his frustration. He explains how he was summoned to Area with nothing but his bare hands, and he lived a life of insignificance, even in death. She points out that he has made remarkable progress, learning the mystic arts and becoming a second-rate warrior in just 3 months. However, he remains consumed by his inferiority complex from his previous life. Sungmin's anger intensifies with each comment Hoyeon makes, and he finally explodes, telling her to shut up. What will happen next? Find out next time by staying tuned for our future recaps. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great recaps.